I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. In public administration, there's something called delegated legislative authority. It is when the legislative arm, the parliament, gives an act or authority to part of the executive institutions, local councils, the right and privileges to make laws so that they don't keep coming to parliament to seek oversight and approval for those statutes that will enable them function well. So you see organizations like the West African Examination Council, the Nigerian Bar Association, different Nigerian Medical Council, they have the authority to make rules and regulations governing themselves and their actions and services. However, these rules must not contradict or be at variance with the Constitution. Now, I want to take my bearing from Genesis chapter 2, verse 19. First of all, welcome to the global church without borders. Somebody from the United States sent a message that we should change it to the global church without borders. And I had wanted to always be a global grandfather, so let's adopt that. Global church without borders. Now, God in Genesis chapter 2, verse 19, took the first man after creating him in his image and likeness to name the animals. He took the animals to him to name. I don't think it is physical. I think it might be in the spiritual realm. And whatever Adam called the animals, it was so. God agreed. God took his authority to name them, gave to Adam. And Adam functioned in that sphere of delegated legislative authority. And God accepted. Remember, I told you from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1, that be ye imitators of God, behave like God, follow his principles, his practices, his philosophy. And so, whatever Adam called them, God accepted. Number one, we were created in his image and likeness. And so God called things into existence. He declared them, he decreed them. Let there be light. And there was light. And the Bible said he separated them and called one day and called the other night. That was how he was declaring and deciding and naming what he created. So, was God worried that Adam would fail? No, because God does not fail. His nature and likeness was in Adam. And so, one of the key powers you have is the power of phonation, the ability to speak. That's why you are kings and priests. The priest speaks on behalf of the people. The king decrees what God expects him to decree, and it becomes law. The priest speaks on behalf of God to the people. And so, but all these must be within and be submissive to the will and sovereignty of God. So, when Adam named the animals, God agreed. In Romans chapter 4, verse 17, the Bible says, call things that be not as if they are. And Abraham was called father of nations when he had no son. What is the point I'm trying to make? Try as much as possible to declare and decree things positively concerning your life and circumstances. The Bible says that whatever you bind on earth, that is, you limit, you restrain, you restrict, you create boundaries for, is bound in heaven. Whatever you loosen is also losing in heaven. So whatever you agree, tolerate, celebrate on earth is up to you. And so, whosoever sin you forgive on earth is forgiven in heaven. There was one time some boys in my area came and harassed me, took me to their youth court, and small boys, they were not up to my children's age mates, and they treated me very shamefully. And I came back and knelt down. I said, God, have mercy onto those boys. I was in a Hebrew center. I said, God, have mercy upon those. He said, don't pray that kind of prayer. He said, I allowed you. It happened on a Friday, and I went to Hebrew Center to pray to do an all-night lecture and prayer meeting. He said, I allowed them to come and meet you so that I can have a legal basis to deal with them. All others they've been troubling, they are not of my kingdom. Say, decree a thing. So I decreed that when I get back, I will not meet those people. I'm mixing up the issues. But I told my wife that these boys, when I come back, I will not meet them. And he told one of them, that one said, took a name, Geyo, and name get Gera, that is run. Where will I run to? And by the time I came back on Saturday from Hebrew Center, they had gone to cause trouble somewhere, and the mobile police came, drove all of them from the community. Even the person who was molding blocks for me, he ran. One of them, the wife was dragged out of the bathroom, and that one that said, Geyo, he left the community for nearly 2 years. I finished building my house before many of them came back. And so, some of us tolerate a lot of things around us, accept them, and we don't decree them. So, why are we not getting, how does this work? Number one, I told you about panpsychism. Panpsychism is the reality that all of God's creation hear. And because you are in the image and likeness of God, when you speak, they hear. And they react. He said, speak to the rock and water will come out. He didn't speak. Joshua said, these stones are now witnesses between us. So the stones heard, and God spoke to the fish, and he swallowed Jonah. God spoke to the fish, vomited Jonah. God spoke to the lions, they didn't eat Daniel. God spoke to the donkey, and he spoke to Balaam. And so all of God's creation, they hear and they respond. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. So your liver, your kidneys, your intestines, your mesentery, your heart, they hear. David knew that. So you can speak to your internal organs to be well and healed and function properly. There was a time my hands used to tremble. I wanted to do a surgery for the first time, intestinal anastomosis, and my hands were trembling. I spoke to the hands. You dare not tremble today. Be still. And they became still. I was reading about the nature of intelligent people. They speak to themselves. I've forgotten the psychological name. You speak to yourself. When you speak to yourself, your subconscious hears you, and your subconscious is not logical. So it works to meet what you have said. As you speak it, panpsychism will make your environment hear, and the Spirit of God interacts with the spirit that is in you through your subconscious, and the environment arranges itself to fit your need, while your systems are influenced by your subconscious to walk in the direction of what you have decreed. You just instinctively do some things, intuitively do some things, just do some things by intuition, and you find out that you are gravitating towards what you have decreed. So, the power of declaration, learn to declare things. So, when you declare within the statutory realm that you have been delegated to function, and within God's sovereignty, it will come to pass. But you see, you must not behold iniquity in your heart. You must not behold iniquity in your heart. One of the things I've learned is not to bear anger, vengeance in my mind. Because if you talk negatively, some of the negative things might happen to the people and even happen to you. So you must learn to have a clean heart that thinks about what is honorable, what is pure, what is good, what is of good report. So when you think about those things, psychologists have found out that as you think about those things, your mind is renewed. As your mind is renewed, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. There is the power of thought. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. When you start thinking, the environment starts to arrange for you to actualize your thoughts. And the power of life and death is in the tongue. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. I got a message from my printer that she needed 1 million naira. 1 million naira to print, to add to the money that I've sent, to print some of my books. So I didn't panic. My mind has been trained not to panic. My mind has been trained to know that even before I ask, the Lord would answer. And so somebody called me from a country and told me he wanted to be sending me money monthly, and I should send my account details. I sent the account details. The Lord that supplies immeasurably beyond what you can think of or imagine, sent 1.1 million naira, 1,000 naira, 100,000 naira, beyond what I needed. And I paid the publisher. So your thoughts will shape you. Your declaration will shape your life. The nature of your heart will attract negativity or positivity. So learn to practice these things in your life. Don't panic about what is happening. Decree a thing. Declare a thing. Sometimes let people hear and then they will testify. I told you of my son going back to Germany. When he submitted his German passport as he was going, right from the gate there, "Are you Dr. Apoki's son?" And when he wanted to board, he called me, said, "Daddy, they know you here. They were asking me whether I was Dr. Apoki's son." And Dr. Ofuma Apoki, his younger brother, was sitting beside me. He said, "You told us these things when we were younger, that is how it's going to be, that nobody will ask them, 'Who is your father?' That when they introduce themselves, that people will naturally ask, 'Are you Dr. Apoki's son?'" And it has been happening all over. all over. And I had decreed and declared that I was going to be a global citizen. So what are you going to declare over your life after this service? I want to decree and declare some things over your life. In those days, stammerers or stutterers were not made kings, because a king reigns by declaration, commands his army by declaration. So also, you too must learn to be a king and a priest. Learn to declare, decree, and they will come to pass. But however, let's not extend it into this Pentecostal rascality of frivolous declarations that are not within the sovereignty of God. When I mean within the sovereignty, it is up to him to make it come to pass. Don't say, if I be a man of God. No. No, don't say that. If God be God, no, God is still God. Let God act. Then decree it within your scope of operation. This man's wife is my wife. No, you don't have the right to take another person's wife. No. So, those are the principles I wanted you to learn in this short service. Dr. Charles Apoki is still my name. We have properties for sale. We have books and so many things for sale. We do counseling. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. Somebody will give you an assistance. There is a video online advertising medications for prostate and for erectile dysfunction. Those people are scammers. It's an AI video using my image and my voice. If you notice, the voice and the lips don't synchronize. The only number you can relate with me through, +234 80 21 21 92 62. Every other number is fake unless I personally give it to you. Subscribe to this channel. It's a good channel. Share this video with others. Stop complaining, start declaring. God bless you.